Hello from National Geographic Education. My name is Kip Hotman, and this is Explorer Classroom. At National Geographic, we use the power of science, exploration, education, and storytelling to illuminate and protect the wonder of our world. Explorer Classroom connects students worldwide with our National Geographic Explorers for short lessons and time for your questions. National Geographic has partnered with Ocean Exploration Trust for 3 expeditions in the Hawaiian Islands aboard Ocean Exploration Trust's ship, the exploration vessel Nautilus. I'm so glad you're joining us today for the 3rd event in a 4-event special series that will be broadcasting live from the ship. Today, we are joined by members of the Microplastics team. Our guests are Explorer Rachael Miller, Tanya Palamati, Edem Mawh, Claire Gwinnett, and today they will share an update from the expedition and tell us all about their work mapping microplastics and microfibers in the waters and air surrounding Maui and Lana'i using techniques from marine and forensic science. Their goal is to determine an accessible and inexpensive method for identifying marine debris hotspots and ultimately preventing and remediating plastic pollution. Such important work, folks. Before we get into today's lessons, I'd like to welcome our registered viewers who join us from around the globe. Special shout outs for today go to Lakewood Elementary School, St. Matthew's Catholic School, Oak Valley Academy, Piermont Village School, Cascadia Montessori School, Farmington Public Schools, and all of our homeschools out there. We are thrilled to have you all here. And with that, let's get this Explorer Classroom started. It's time to turn it over to the Microplastics team to share all about their expedition. Take it away, friends.
Thank you, Kip, and hello, everyone. Welcome to today's program. We are so excited. My name is Rachael Miller, and I love the ocean. Who else loves the ocean? Let's see it. Maybe you love a river or a lake or a bay? I knew there were lots and lots of ocean, lake, and river lovers out there. And my job is to protect the ocean. And I'm here with a team. There are 4 of us. We're from 4 different countries, and we are here to protect the ocean. But I bet you're wondering where I'm sitting right now. It looks like mission control, doesn't it? Well, it is, but it's not for a spaceship. It's for a ship on the water. We right now are on a ship called the Nautilus. Here she is. We are on just off of the island of Lana'i right now in the Hawaiian Islands. We are basically in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and we're here with another team that's studying shipwrecks, a team of explorers, as well as an amazing team of people who are part of Ocean Exploration Trust who operate the Nautilus. Now, as far as what the ocean needs protecting from, we are working on plastics, particularly microplastic. So who's already heard of this problem? Well, some of you probably have. Exactly. I love seeing that. So you've all seen trash in the water, I'm sure. That can take many forms. It may look like stuff you've already seen before or you use every day, like cups or food wrappers. Well, that stuff can break down into tiny, tiny pieces. And those can be small. We call them microplastics. So when I talk about that, we are talking less than the size of your pinky nail. They can be so small that they would be even smaller than a grain of rice. So the types of microplastic that we work on are fragments, like you just saw, little chunks, but also fibers that can come off of our clothing. And just to give you an idea of the size of those little tiny fibers, I want you to picture a grain of rice on your finger. These are grains of rice in a microscope. And then look at how small that little tangle of fibers is right there. So small that we need to use special methods in order to get it from the water or get it out of the air and look at it. And so today I am so very excited to bring you around the Nautilus to show you how we are studying the microplastics, first in the water and then in the air. So first, what we're going to do is we are going to go to Tanya Palamati from Italy, and she is standing on the back deck to do some water sampling. Take it away, Tanya.
Hi, Rachel, and thank you everyone for connecting here today. I'm very excited to show you today how we do the microplastic sampling on the surface of the water. So I'm gonna do it very easily and very quickly. You will see everyone could potentially sample microplastics because it's a really, really easy way. You just need a bucket, basically. So I'm gonna do it, of course, here in the Pacific Ocean. We are in front of Lana'i in this moment. So it's a beautiful place, and I'm gonna show you how I will throw the bucket in order to get the sample. So I have the line, I have the bucket, and there I go. So now the sample is in there, and I have already washed this bucket for 3 times with oceanic water. And I also washed my hands in order not to contaminate the sample. So here is the sample of water. And now I'm gonna place all the sample inside this jar. Here we go. And I will have to take care to fill it all the way in order not to have bubbles in it. So in this way, I get to the very, very top of it, and I will close it in order to avoid any air to be trapped in the jar. So here it is. We have our sample, and it will be later be analyzed by Dr. Claire. You will see her afterwards. So I give you back.
Beautiful. I think Tanya did a great job. Did you see? She just threw the bucket right off the back. It was tied, though. We are very careful not to throw our buckets overboard. So that's for water sampling. Now, we also are investigating what is coming out of the sky or is in the air. And so we have Edem Mawh from Ghana on the back deck to show you how we sampled the air. It's all you, Edem.
Hi, hello everyone. So my name is Edem from Ghana, and I'm going to show you how to analyze microplastics in air, how to collect and analyze your microplastics in the air. So as you know, we have microplastics all over the place, and we are not just interested in collecting them from the water, but we are also interested in taking them from the air. And with me here is a very simple pump that I'm going to show you how I use that in collecting microplastics from the air. So basically, I just connect this to the pump right here. And then I have this. I have already put a filter in here. So there is a filter paper that is in here. So I just close it nicely. And then I sit the pump back inside the bucket and then tie this nicely. And once this is ready, I just turn the pump on, and that's it. So this right here is going to be collecting all the microplastics that are suspending in the air. Now we are also interested in collecting microplastics that are falling from the sky. So just like rain, we have particles that are falling from the sky all the time. And to do that, we will use this bucket. This is really a simple bucket. It's called a science bucket. and we put that bucket right down on the floor. I set it nicely here like this. There is filter paper in the bucket. So I'm going to leave this bucket right on this spot for 24 hours. I have a couple of other buckets on the other parts of the deck. So I have one on the bow, I have one on the stern, I have one on the monkey deck, and I'm going to leave those ones there. I'll come back for them after 6 days, and then this is what I do. I pick up my bucket. I have my jar here. I have cleaned this jar nicely with filtered water. So I just open the jar nicely. And that's it. So once I'm done, I take this bottle to the lab, filter it, and look for microplastics in the lab.
Great.
And then this guy right here, I come back after 24 hours, after 30 minutes, sorry, pick it up, and then go back to the lab and analyze it. So that is how we do microplastics in the air. It is that simple.
Awesome. Thank you, Edem. So those are the two field sampling parts of our program, getting it from the water and getting it from the air. And you heard both Tanya and Edem say that the next step is in the lab. And so now let's go to the wet lab on the Nautilus to Claire Gwinnett. There she is.
Hey everyone, hi, welcome to the wet lab, everybody. It's such a cool place. I'm going to show you what we do with the samples now. And it's so cool and so simple. And I'll even be able to show you one that's in action right now. So remember that sample that Tanya brought up? So we had the water. So this is just in the jar like this. We're now going to filter it to capture any microplastics just using this filtration system. What we want to do is we want to use a little filter paper, and we just use these ones here, and we place one of those just inside here so that we can capture anything larger than 1/6 of the human hair. So anything that's bigger than that, and that is super tiny, we're going to capture on top of this. So we just pour this in, and we can keep on pouring this in and topping this up. But every single time we do that, we cover this up because we don't want to contaminate our samples, because we know these microplastics are everywhere. Now, this takes just a few minutes, so I'm not going to wait for that. I'm going to show you what you do next. What we then do is we need to get those microplastics from that filter paper onto something that we can actually look at, because we need to be able to see what they look like. We need to be able to count them. So what we do, which is completely new, and this is what we use for forensic science, and we can talk to you more about that later if you've got any questions, but we use this tape, and we actually tape the surface of this. I don't know if any of you out there have ever taped your clothes to get like dog hair or your cat hair off. It's exactly the same thing. So we just take a little piece and we just press it on the surface, and we take the whole surface so we don't miss any. And let's imagine I've just done the whole thing there, and I've covered it and made sure I've collected everything. We then put it on a microscope slide. I don't know whether you can see that there, but we want to trap those microplastics between that tape and that microscope slide so that we can look at these now, in a week's time, in a year's time, or as long as possible. We can transport these even back to my country in the UK if we wanted to. But we're lucky enough to do the analysis on board the Nautilus here because we have an amazing microscope. We call her Penny, the PLM, the polarized light microscope. She's just over here. Now, you won't be able to necessarily see because we're obviously in the middle of the ocean. So I'm going to show you some examples of the types of samples on the screen now. And these are the kind of fibers that we find out in the ocean. And lots of people always ask me, are they all the same shape, same size? And I say, no. Just look at that screen and see how they're different colors. They've got different forms, different shapes. They've even got different features inside them. So different additives get put in there, something called delustrant to take the shine off fibers. And we use all of those features here on board the Nautilus to understand better what pollutants are in the water and the air, and hopefully start understanding where they actually come from. So that's us in the lab. Thank you so much.
That is great, Claire. Thank you very much. Claire and Tanya and Edem, why don't you guys come on and join me in the control room so that we'll be able to take some questions. And while my team is heading up to our control room, I just want to share with you why we're doing this and what we're going to do with this information. Remember, we're working to protect the ocean, our lakes and rivers. And microplastics can be dangerous. They can be dangerous to the sea creatures in particular they can scratch little throats and they can fill little bellies of plankton. They can also bring toxic substances across and they can get into fish and birds of all sizes. And microplastic is also getting into human food and water. And we want to make sure that we keep everything as clean and pure as it should be. We all want to be healthy, the creatures and the people and the waterways on this planet. And so by doing all of this work, we are aiming to understand the problem better. Because you know about this, when you have a problem, the better you understand it and the more questions you ask and then answer, the better chance you have of having a great solution. In this case, there are going to be a lot of solutions, and there's solutions that everyone can be part of. So I think we've got our team here and ready. So Kip, I will hand it back to you to get ready to answer some questions.
Wow. Thank you so much, Rachel, Tanya, Edem, and Claire, for an incredible look into your work and for sharing why remediating plastic pollution is so important. And I bet many of our viewers out there are definitely interested in joining your mission. So, Rachel, I'm just asking your all's team, what can we do from wherever we are in the world to contribute?
Great. There's so much everyone can do. All of you who are part of this program right now and part of the program in the future, we all can do something. So I'm going to pass this along to the team and we'll each answer because you've got 4 people from 4 countries and 4 different scientific disciplines. So here's the team. Why don't we start with Tanya? Tanya, what's your advice for people to make an impact?
Oh, thank you for this question. It's amazing that everyone wants to do his own part in this problem. So I think that everyone that is able to get to the beach have seen how much trash there is on the beach. So if every one of us can take, let's say, 3 pieces of plastics out of the beach, I think that would be a great way to show others, and others could do the same. So imagine if everyone going to the beach would take these 3 pieces back home and recycle this plastic. I think that would be a great start.
I think it's a great start too. Edem, you're coming from Ghana in Africa. What are your suggestions?
Hi, everyone. It's so lovely to know that we have you all on board here, very interested in this big global problem. I am coming from Ghana because microplastics or plastic pollution is not only here in the US, it's all over the world. And my little bit of advice to you is that talk to someone about the problem. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, because we need to let people know that this is really a big problem. And the only way we can do that is by talking to people. So talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to everyone about the problem.
I love that. Communication, science communication. It's what we're doing now. Okay, Claire is coming from the UK. What's your advice?
Well, everyone, I think if you can say no to single-use plastics wherever you possibly can, that is such a huge thing that you can do. So think about getting maybe a reusable water bottle, one with really bright colors, something you absolutely love. And instead of a plastic bag, get your favorite tote bag made out of material. It'll last for as long as you look after it, and it helps save the ocean.
Love that. So reduce the amount of trash that you make and have some great reusables in the meantime. My advice, as someone who also does a lot of focusing on microfiber, is to take care of your clothing. Did you know that your clothing breaks? That is what causes microfiber pollution, or one of the causes. And so if we take better care of our clothes, we can reduce it. And here's a way. One is only wash what's dirty. Every single thing you wear doesn't necessarily get dirty. Certainly do wash when clothes are dirty. But when they're not, get ready to just wear it again. Or if you get a little stain, you can just get that little stain out. So my best advice is take care of your clothing so it doesn't break down and it lasts longer.
Well, thank you again to the Microplastics team and the rest of the Ocean Exploration Trust team on the Nautilus for taking the time out of their busy expedition schedule to be with us today. And a huge shout out and thank you to all the students and teachers watching. We hope you join many more of our events. Make sure to join us next Wednesday, October 19th, for the fourth and final event in this special series, Live from the Nautilus. We'll be joined by the Maritime Heritage Team, a team of archaeologists, underwater photographers, and educators led by Explorer Justin Dunavant to learn how they will create virtual 3D models of key underwater cultural heritage sites in Maui and Lana'i in order to document them and raise awareness for the preservation. Teachers, remember, register for more than one event in this series for a chance to win a special prize in your classroom. And next Thursday, we'll be joined by Pristine Seas expedition leader, Paul Rose, one of the world's most accomplished science divers, to learn how the National Geographic Pristine Seas team is exploring the ocean, inspiring marine reserves, and conducting scientific research. Register for this event and more at natgeoed.org/Explorer Classroom. You can request a chance to be featured on screen. And to our fellow teachers, we've also created a new interactive guide for you to share with your students to take them on a learning journey with each of our special guests. Find the Explorer Mindset and Action Guide and Teacher Edition linked on each event registration page and in the YouTube chat box. Have a great day, everyone.